Hey there, and welcome. You know that feeling when you're standing in the supplement aisle just staring at a wall of bottles and feeling completely overwhelmed? Yeah, you are definitely not alone. So today, we're going to cut through all that confusion. We're going to figure out what truly makes a high-quality, clinical-grade supplement stand out from all the rest.
And this is really the million-dollar question, isn't it? We hear so much about what we should be taking, but it's almost impossible to tell which products are the real deal, backed by science, and which ones are just clever marketing. Well, the short answer is yes, they do exist, but they are way, way less common than you might think.
And this really gets to the heart of the problem. Not all supplements are made the same. Not even close. There is a huge quality gap between the products you see lining most store shelves and the ones that are actually designed with clinical effectiveness as the #1 goal.
Now, when you look at them side by side, the difference is pretty stark. On one hand, you've got supplements that are driven entirely by marketing. You know, it's all about the flashy packaging, the bold claims, anything to get it off the shelf and into your cart. But on the other side, you have clinical-grade supplements. Here, the entire focus is on one thing: effectiveness. That means using forms the body can actually absorb and delivering real results. One is designed to sell, and the other is designed to work.
Okay, so to find our way through this maze, we need a benchmark, right? We need a clear, objective standard for what high quality actually means. And I'm not talking about fancy labels. I'm talking about meeting a specific, professional-grade standard.
A perfect example of a benchmark like this is something called MIMS. Now, you won't find this at your local bookstore. It's a professional reference guide that doctors, pharmacists, and other healthcare pros use. It's basically their go-to resource to find products that meet incredibly strict pharmaceutical-grade standards for quality, safety, and purity. And that's the whole point, you know? Systems like MIMS exist for a reason, to cut through all the marketing noise. They give professionals a trusted third-party standard so they can feel confident that a product is safe and effective no matter what the company's advertising might be screaming at you. And this visual, wow, it really puts it all into perspective. Out of the thousands and thousands of supplements on the market, only this tiny little fraction actually meets the tough criteria to get listed in these professional guides. The vast majority, they just don't make the cut. It really shows you how exclusive and rare that clinical grade category truly is.
So, if most companies aren't hitting this high bar, what are the ones that do succeed doing so differently? Well, it all boils down to a relentless focus on just a few core principles of quality.
It's a really small group, for sure, but there are companies out there whose whole mission is built around these fundamental principles. Things like bioavailability, proper dosing, and manufacturing excellence, instead of just chasing the latest market trends. And if you're looking for a real-world example of what this kind of commitment to clinical standards looks like, one of the companies that consistently stands out in the industry is USANA.
So what does that commitment actually mean in practice? Well, for starters, it's about sourcing top-notch raw ingredients. Then, and this is so important, it's about using bioavailable forms of those nutrients. That just means they're in a form your body can actually absorb and use, not just flush out. It also means proper, research-backed dosing, so you're not just getting a tiny sprinkle of an ingredient so they can put it on the label. And all of this is done under strict pharmaceutical-grade manufacturing standards. The entire goal is to support your health from the ground up, right at the cellular level. And all of this leads to a really important shift in mindset. It's a completely new way to think about how you support your health and what you're really trying to achieve with supplements in the first place.
Let's just let that sink in for a second. It's not about taking more supplements, it's about taking the right ones. A single, well-formulated, bioavailable supplement is so much more effective than a whole handful of poorly made ones. It's all about quality over quantity. So, now that you have a much better idea of what true quality looks like, the next step is really a personal one. It's all about figuring out what makes the most sense for your body and your individual health goals. And to help you get started on that, I've put a link to a simple health reflection tool down below. It's not a sales pitch at all. It's just a simple guide to help you think through your own needs so you can make a truly informed choice. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.